Alrighty. Here we go. So we're gonna lower that volume down. Right up. And yeah. Let's get that screen out there. And there we go. Hello, one and all. Yeah. I would say sorry for the mess, but it is a workspace. That is kinda the whole shebang. So, as you have probably read the title of this stream, we are looking at 13 years on YouTube. Now, this is something that I didn't even realize at first, and quite honestly, I would say sorry for the mess, but it is a workspace. That is kind of the whole. Raise the volume of that a bit. So, as you have probably read, yeah. Title. It always starts with this, me looking over like things. I need to. All right, cool. Now, I really need to start marking down what levels I need to have the volumes at for background music and everything else, because I always forget. So, what we are looking at today is going to be, well, first and foremost, let's just do the whole monthly update version of things at first. Now, I need to really think about what has happened in September, because we're already well into November. Oh God, October. So most of September, October, like transition, it has been absolutely wild and crazy with my day job. Been traveling a whole lot to a bunch of different places, so that's kind of, meant that I've had less time to be in the workshop and here, and also the fact that I've kind of not had that much energy. Plus everything that's going on with the band. We're currently in the studio, so that's also something that's been eating away into workshop time. I say eating into workshop time, not so much. More, I guess, the social media posting content and editing content time. Because, hey, Frankie! Yeah, because I have been going to the workshop. I've been filming some new things, but I haven't been posting all that much on socials for, reasons of there's either been nothing really that interesting to show, and then there's some upcoming models that are not ready for release quite just yet. You can actually see a little bit over there, but I'm just gonna do a little thing here so you don't see don't see too much of them. Yeah, all right. But yeah, so I've been busy. I finished the first Gore Over production bass, and I handed that over to Jonna yesterday. It was really cool to hear for the first time kind of something that isn't custom. This was the first 100% production line instrument, and it's a bass, which is funny, but like, yeah, Johnny Grinds and I, we really fleshed out and spec'd out that bass to be everything that it's meant to be, and it turned out fantastic. I will be editing together some clips, and there will be stuff going up on socials for you to check out, probably on this channel as well. But that is to come later on. Other than that, I need to actually... Happy 13 on 13! Hey, thank you! Yeah. I need to go back and actually see in my camera roll what has been happening in September, so I can better kind of describe what's been happening. Oh! Right. It's that long ago. Okay. So, yeah. The River Daedalus finally got finished up with new clear coats put together. Finally, it's been a long time coming and definitely looks the part. While it is a prototype, there's things about it that make it somewhat, it would make it, if it was an actual production line model, it would be a B stock, but it is a prototype, so as far as prototypes go, there's a couple of things to it. Let me show you. So, here's a little close-up of the River Daedalus, now with a polyurethane high gloss finish. Not something that I usually go with, but for this it was kind of a necessity because I had some issues, as I've mentioned on social before. I've had some issues with the acrylic lacquer that I was using for this in the first place. Now, the things that make this a prototype is, well, it is a prototype, so it was used for prototyping the actual model itself, but there's a couple of things about it that need to be taken into account. So I had to put in a little riser for the bridge just to get the well, just so that the saddles aren't completely slammed all the way to the top. I mean, slammed, well, so that they're not lifted up so much as to make it unplayable. And then there's a couple of things where the cavity was drilled in the backyard over the summer when I couldn't go to a workshop, so I missed a couple of bits there. Nothing major. Actually, that just gives you a good place to actually pick the back cover up once you've unscrewed it. Then I think that is about it. Sure, there's a little bit of plugging up for the retainer bar, but nothing major. Still plays great. Not in tune. It's not a riser, it's a tone plate. Absolutely correct. Absolutely great. It is a tone plate. But yeah, so I finished this. We finished also the final clear coats on Johnny's 37-inch enormous custom base. Whoops. Enormous custom base. So that was pretty cool as well. Let's have a look what else has happened in September. Did a little bit of a refinish project. Had some maintenance things come in. And the After Hours guitar has finally got work done on it. I'll show you in a minute. Great. And then we're already into October. So, the After Hours guitar, which is my personal 7-string. This spaceship guitar, as I've started calling it now, because it is, well, it is a very spaceship guitar. But yeah, so I have gotten those curves carved out a little bit better on the back. So it used to be really, really thick, or it looked very, very thick. I mean, the thickness hasn't changed, but now with the carves and everything, it looks a little bit more slim and streamlined. Fretboard got bound and radiused and is currently going through neck carve. Got distracted. All I heard was man's inches be massive. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Johnny Grinds, he has his newest 4-string custom bass is 37 inches long, and it is a ridiculous beast of a machine. The first active bass I've also built, so it's been really cool. Should be some demos coming up on that later as well. Now, for a little bit of a close-up. So yeah, one thing I'm going to start incorporating into like scooped headstocks, which is something that I usually do for my guitars. I always think that there's something, because if you have an angled headstock, it's very easy to put a headstock plate on it that, you know, matches the top wood or something else, and it looks pretty cool, adds a nice added detail. But I've been trying to figure out what I want to do when it comes to scooped headstocks to kind of bring that element in. So now with like inline tuners, I mean, this is an angled headstock, but the same applies. So kind of the same thing that I did with, and it's not sanded down as you can see, but kind of the same thing that I did with Neela's custom 7-string dataless. So just putting in a piece like this, routing out a bit for it, so now I could get a sort of continuation of a top and then headstock as well, so they kind of match. This, of course, this is a completely different beast altogether. This is a fun experiment. Many things have gone wrong in the making of this. This was started in 2016. I've had to fix a lot of issues with this, but it's finally getting to the stages where it's just neck carving to go, along with a couple of other guitars, and I think I can finish this year, which is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, and that headstock, yeah, I kind of really dig this headstock. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys something that is up and coming, but will not give you any more details about. I'm going to try and see if I can bring this just into view that much. So there's a new headstock for a new guitar, and I'm not going to show you anything else about it. I really need to make sure that I don't show off anything in the background either. Oh yeah, and of course I'm making a twin for it, so this is a 7-string version, but I'm not going to show you anymore. Right, so that's pretty much wrapping up everything that's happened now in September-wise. Like a scythe, it is very much. It's really funny because the original headstock that is based on came about from, oh well, we ran out of space, or like the blank of wood that we have, we ran out of wood, so we should just add a little bit. It's like, no, it looks good like that. Really? Okay, well, let's go with it. So it was literally, it wasn't a design feature from the get-go. It was more a fact of, it oddly enough looked good to just leave it like a straight edge at the end of the headstock instead of adding a piece and then making it pointy or something else. Yeah, so wrapping up on everything that happened in October. Now, September. Now, moving into the rest of this month, I've been working a lot on a lot of different guitars, one of which I can show you. Now, this is an Icarus, but it is a lot bigger, and the extended horn also. This is going to get a, come on. Redwood burl top and Pau-Ferro one-piece neck and fretboard. So this is the Icarus 8-string, which is coming up, and I am super excited about this. This is gonna look absolutely killer. Let me show you the body. So this is something I was working on today at the workshop. What reminds me of stuff that Orbital Guitars does when you want to. Oh yeah. But yeah, so essentially, there. So it is an Icarus, but it's a good bit bigger. Now the reason why I extended the upper horn is just to give a little more balance. So I'll be able to add the strap button a lot further along and here. So that should help with neck dive, because this is a 30-inch scale length guitar. That's a lot of neck. A lot of very heavy neck. So if I don't do that, it might have dipped quite a bit. So moving the upper horn up should correct that quite a bit. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a fairly unique guitar. Redwood top and domestic finish cherry, the Pau-Ferro fretboard, and it's going to be quite a beast. Gonna have Lundgren M8s in it, so pretty sure you can play some Michigan on that. Thanks, yeah. I got really lucky. I bought 3 tops from Well Guitars. He was selling some of his old stock on Instagram, so I bought some stuff, and then I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do with this redwood burl, and it was deemed worthy of an 8-string. Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty cool. I will try and get back to editing videos, but honestly, I haven't had time or energy. I've just been really taking everything I can out of being at the workshop and working on things and enjoying that. However, as the title would suggest, 13 years on YouTube. Now, I noticed this when YouTube sent me a message, is like, happy birthday on the 3rd of October. Happy birthday to your YouTube channel. So 13 years ago, I created this channel that we're on currently, and it was under a very different name, and it was doing very different things. The first guitar building oriented videos that even came up were 2 years after the fact, which was what is now known as the signature guitar, which is, the one that I did for Great Guitar Build Off last year. So that was the first series that kind of came up. Before that, I was doing like sketches, random music, jamming with friends, and videos on those, and then like podcasts. Now, it was the Indie Pod. I remember that was what it was called. And I would just talk about this, that, and the other to do with music, entertainment, and then I play my favorite songs of the week. Like, I would have breaks. It was kind of like a radio show. Of course, copyright infringement and everything else like that totally blew it out of, or blocked it in a lot of places, but it was a lot of fun to do. So I guess this channel pretty much started as a, how would I say? It started as a podcast channel. Don't spin your chair too much. The mystery project's starting to show. Yeah. I should be more careful about that. But there's not much that you'll be able to like tell from me spinning around like this. I've hit it in a way that it won't give too much away. And there's no, big mystery. It will be announced later on, for sure. Anywho, what I thought would be really fun is, because it's been 13 years whatever I have left in storage on YouTube and on my computer, because I found some deleted stuff on a hard drive. That's what I was rummaging around for in the very beginning. That I thought it would be fun to kind of go over and have a look at just the funny things that I've been working on. So I am going to quickly just add a new source here. Yeah, that's the one. So we're gonna go over some real old stuff here. Essentially, there's, you know, the stuff that everything started off from, which is the, you know, the working on the signature, as I called it back in the day, which is, well, funny to say the least. I'm not going to go through all of this because, quite honestly, there's going to be ads and whatnot, and we're not gonna do that. But do mention in the chat if there are certain videos that you would like to see, and I will stop and we'll have a look. But essentially, the very first kind of guitar building video that I put up was this one here, which is just me. I had bought this Westone WLP sort of. It's an LP copy, and I wanted to customize it to the best of my ability. So I'm doing this in our shower room, and I didn't know what I was doing back then. And I know that's like 60 grit paper, and I don't think I went up any grits. So it's 60 or 80 grit and really rough. Yeah. Kind of cringy to see. And because I didn't know how to do any electronics, I didn't remove the electronics. I just wrapped them up in masking tape and let them be, and just otherwise disassembled everything. Didn't even remove the post for the Tune-o-matic or the ferrules for the Tune-o-matic at all, the stop tail. So that kind of shows how much things have changed. One thing about this is really weird, though, is the fact that there's no tattoos on this young man here. Oh yeah, here we go. Final resort. Let's have a look. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's just say that I've come a bit further since those times. Let's have a look here. There's new custom work coming up. I wonder what this was. Oh, yeah. So the very first logo for IP, or Indestructible Productions as it was, which is a stupid name that me and my friends came up with. But there was a great video he did where he went from down to a facility to sand down a guitar. It's very important. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's like... That is after I came back from England, after having worked at Crimson. And then I came back to England, and I went to this one workshop to do all the like bigger portions of building a guitar. I'll probably get to that in a little bit, but let's have a look at this older stuff. So yeah, the first, because it was Indestructible Productions, I thought it would be funny to have an explosion because the logo was a mushroom cloud, which thankfully I've changed since then, because it not a great logo and can turn phallic very quickly. Oh boy. Oh yeah, this is where I was like, I think I had like this, like, wanted to have like this like thing, so I was the guy with the beanie and the glasses. Oh boy, what was I thinking? I haven't. There's very good reasons for me not having watched these videos. Yeah, it's pretty awkward. Man, I really need to figure out how to pace myself, because this is just rambling. Yeah, I mean, granted, I ramble a lot nowadays, but I didn't edit these at all, and I just have random music playing in the background from my computer. This bass is still something that I'm kind of wanting to, or it's in the process of being put back together because I don't have a bass currently. This is the first idea that I had for it, and we'll get to what this turned out to be because it did not go great. Yeah, the first sort of hit video that I did was when I ordered a fret leveling file from Crimson Guitars, and it's, oh, here we go, advertisements. Woo! Yeah. So I ordered one of the first fret leveling files that Ben created and made a review. I didn't know what I was doing, and still sort of misplaced my order. I should have had another file in there. Did I? Yeah. I should have had like the triangular like fret crowning file. Didn't have that. Ben sent that to me later on. Oh, no. I should have had the ground edges for this. The thing that makes this even more awkward is I know that this video particularly, this was up on the Crimson Guitars website for, you know, the web store for reviews of their tools, and this was in there.
Hi, this is Tom Shirt on the behalf of Indestructible Productions, and I'm here
that hasn't changed.
What I did with some fretwork. The first thing that you want to do, of course, you want to make sure that your neck is completely straight on your guitar that you're starting to work on. And after that, the main thing you want to do is mask out your fretboard. I'm basically following the Crimson Guitars way of doing this.
Mentioning where I actually got the
on how to do this, and I will link it somewhere.
Did I link it?
Now I'm just.
I didn't link it.
Off of all the frets. So I ordered this tool specifically made just for me.
Ooh, those are some very flat frets.
There, I was looking at the videos to make sure I'm doing everything right. And an amazing tool, absolutely amazing product.
Yeah, I'm doing the fret crowning with the fret leveling file because I didn't have anything else to do it with, and I am ripping that fretboard up, and those frets are so flat.
You will not experience any. Taking off the masking, gotta be very careful with this part. So
I did polish it up with the Dremel.
Give them a nice good polish.
Let's have a look.
Nicely protected.
And this was a very reoccurring thing, like me working on my floor in pajamas. For some reason, I don't know why I decided that that would be a good idea to actually put that out for people to see, but yeah. Oh yeah. One of the things, like, I've already transitioned away from it, and I've deleted a bunch of the videos because you can tell that there's, or I can tell that there's stuff missing in between. But what I used to do on this channel quite a bit was we would post covers. Covers of different, like, songs and things like this to do with different, like, times of the year, maybe. Like, do a special, like, Christmas song, or just in general do a cover of a song and get friends involved and everything. And one of the... I believe this was one of the first ones that we did. It's no longer on YouTube because there's a bunch of things that I've deleted off of YouTube just because they got a lot of downvotes and they were bringing the channel, like, the majority of the channels, like, negative versus positive. It was bringing that lower, so I had to delete some videos that were really poorly made, but still kept them, and I had to look for them on this hard drive. But what I got was here. So this is one of the first cover songs that we did on the channel. And this is something that we did quite a bit of. As you can see, this is Carol the Bells, but I took the August Burns Red version of the song and I dropped it to A sharp. And this was the first time that I did any sort of mixing at all. One of the very first songs that I recorded as well and played. And it's not good. I didn't listen to the final mastering thing, so the bass drum is clipping. It's so loud. And yeah, it was awkward. But this is something that we used to do quite a bit. Yeah, I love the fact that when I was filming that up there, there were just a bunch of tourists that were actually taking pictures of me doing this. And yeah, the elf hat headbanging. That's pretty funny. But yeah, this is pretty much what the early days of IP looked like. A bunch of random videos that didn't really make sense to have on the channel. There were some like guitar building things and whatnot, but yes, that is where the Darude Sandstorm video is filmed. Exactly. I'm glad you pointed that out. But yeah, that is at the top of the stairs. That is exactly where it was filmed. But yeah, so then we got into the habit of buying old, crappy, useless guitars from people and then creating a demo song and filming a video for it. So here's an example of one of the first ones that we did. There's a couple that I believe yeah, so this one came first for sure. So this was IP13 Banshee. So this was a BC Rich guitar that we heavily modded, and now a new fancier intro that I made. This song was a lot of fun, and it was lovingly called Nihilistic Punchline. And I think it's a fun song. Something that makes it very different is the left and the right, they're actually tuned differently. So one of them is in drop C. Drop C is on the left, I believe. And then on the right, we have one that is in C standard. So technically, oh, there we go. 2 steps down. Which made for this very interesting like dissonance. And this is back when I was using PV Revolver for a lot of the tones and whatnot. So it sounds pretty harsh. And I still didn't really know what I was doing, like mixing wise. But you know, this guitar went through a couple of different iterations, and yeah, for all these we did make like an entire series where we customized the guitar, but I am at a loss where I can't actually find those videos. I don't believe I can, at least. Oh yes, I can. Yeah, so the way that we would do this is like we would first, I think we started off, I think those are great ideas for content. Whoever downloaded well, this was back in the dark ages of the internet. Yeah, but it's really funny because this is more or less like stuff that you would see nowadays quite a bit. But I've deleted most of this stuff that came up. yeah, so what we used to do is we would do the customization or whatever, and then we would film the film the demo song, and then we'd start releasing like the actual series after that. But yeah, this last riff is cool. I like this riff. Not this one. This one that follows. Not played in time, but it's still funny. Yeah, so I wonder if I actually have any videos of that. Oh, hey, I'm sorry, I'm missing out on videos here. So before that, because I'm getting ahead of myself, there were a couple of videos that came out. Now there was the first one that we did. We got this old what is this? This was a LTD ESP H50 and heavily customized this one. And this is still on YouTube, as was the previous one. So we lovingly named this Envy because it's green. So it's green with envy. And this guitar is a whole lot of what on earth was I thinking? There's like the inlays are made up of 4 different woods. Put an ash veneer top on that, which was a lot of fun because I got to use a vacuum press for the first time. All the finishing is badly done. The knobs are handmade from oh yeah, walnut binding that I put in. Zebrano knobs, I was supposed to say. And yeah, and the back plates made from like plywood, and it's a miracle that this actually played because yeah, it's a pretty gimmicky guitar and not very well made, which is why I don't have it like actually visible on the channel anymore. But the song was a lot of fun. So I had my friend Mikko come in, and he would be like my go-to guy to like demo things because he actually knows how to play guitar. And then he'd sit down, he'd record, and we'd film the video at the same time that he's recording. And then I put it all together like after the fact. And the reason why I'm playing guitar in a couple of parts in the video is only because I didn't manage to capture those moments when we were recording. I didn't actually play any of this. Let's see. Then there's... Okay, so here's the gimmicky part. So it's gonna build up before the final like chorus, and then yeah, it has a little red switch. Yeah, LEDs. Not well done, but hey, this was. We used to do a lot of like experimenting with a lot of things and trying things out and doing inlays like this without taking frets off, and yeah. And that then followed an entire series Then there was a reoccurring guitar that came back quite a bit, which was the Rose. Now, the Rose is something that went through, I believe, 3 or 4 different iterations, and this was the second. This is the second iteration of the Rose. And yeah, bending that heel plate was interesting. I basically just hammered it. And this is a Harley Benton kit guitar that we customized. Originally looked a lot different than this. And yeah. Love the LED on the side and Kickstarter guitar. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Still something I want to do properly, and let's see if Nila's next guitar actually gets some, well, gets the LEDs that the current custom was supposed to get. Ooh. Now, I say I'm not a guitarist, and I'm not. Because this is the result. Something that's not very... I'm concentrating so hard to play something rather easy and simple. Oh. Oy. Yeah, editing my own, like, recordings was still pretty up in the air. Let's see. The one thing that was a real shame about the Rose was because I originally I made like this pick guard for it out of plywood and hand painted it, but then somebody ended up stealing